What is impossible?
What does that really mean?
The Fisker Karma is radical.
Possible.
Setting a new trend. Responsible luxury.
We are uncompromised.
Uncompromised responsible luxury. The first big step, the real step we can make, reduce our dependence on foreign oil.
Luxury without compromise.
I believe when you come up with a very desirable product, nothing is impossible. The Fisker Karma can go up to 50 miles pure electric with zero emission using only electricity.
So the CO2 emissions of every vehicle right now is a concern to everybody.
Concerns about the environment.
When I look into the CO2 we have in our car now with 83 grams, we are far below comparable vehicles. We are actually below a Toyota Prius.
Even if you wouldn't know that it's an environmental friendly electric vehicle with an extended range, you get excited about it.
Other cars actually about 4 times to 5 times higher in CO2 emissions than our car. Comparable luxury car makers in Europe, for example.
Purity.
Purity. What is purity?
Purity of the design, purity of the form, the complete product. How it looks, how it feels, how it drives. It goes beyond the visual aspect.
The design is something we would not deviate.
Not only does it happen in 3 dimensions, but it has to work. You have 3 fundamental things that has to come together. It's the proportion, it's the sculpture, and it's the graphics. All these 3 has to work in harmony.
The purity, the drive,
the passion.
So we built a company around the design process.
The dream has become a reality.
When you see the car, first of all, the design already gives you a certain expectation.
From a physical standpoint of view, we have a very low center of gravity. In terms of the power, it's an incredible fast car. It has 400 horsepower, goes 125 miles an hour.
It's a huge amount of torque.
When you press down the accelerator, you're going to feel this instant response. You get pushed back in the seat.
The car basically has no gearbox, so you drive in 1 gear only. It's no longer a loud exhaust noise you have to hear to feel this is a sports car.
To feel this quite large vehicle move so fast in complete silence is very dramatic.
You accelerate, you have torque at any speed.
It's almost a little bit overwhelming how fast.
The purity, the drive, and the passion.
Well, what is impossible?
People told us at the beginning it can't be done. When you go a little bit deeper and you ask yourself what is actually possible, what is impossible, we heard the same question. If it's so easy, why did nobody else do it?
Everybody here has passion for this project.
It's a very rare instant in the automotive business. These cars, from inception of the design to the launch, are really bringing the same design to market. We accomplished that together with our partners.
Fisker Automotive will always create vehicles that are desirable.
The
passion that we have, the passion that you're going to have, pure
driving passion. We are a company of believers.
Not only the powertrain is going to be the environmental friendly part of the car, it goes way beyond that.
We didn't stop there. We melted everything together and said this is going to be about the vehicle, it's going to be about the experience, it's going to be about the materials.
It's how those materials are processed or made.
We partnered with our suppliers and we asked them to research in ways they've never researched before.
So we picked a company which is producing leather in a different way. We show some of the natural kind of wrinkles in the leather.
The more finish that you put on there in terms of pigmentation, the more VOCs or volatile organic compounds you're releasing. When you put a low finish, you can see all of that beauty and the natural markings coming through. Our exterior paint is all made from waterborne product. Our carpet backing is made from 100% PET product.
From a sustainable perspective, everything we don't throw away helps the environment because it's not wasted.
The wood that we use is called rescued wood. We had the big Orange County fires a few years ago. I was driving and I saw a hillside of charred trees and the sun was coming through the trees, and then it hit me, this is our wood source. Every single car comes with a certificate, and that tells you this wood came from the California wildfires, and this came from wood that's been on the bottom of Lake Michigan for hundreds of years.
Suddenly the story kind of evolved, and there was actually one comment from a customer, and the customer said, well, can I order the car animal-free?
When we launched Eco Chic at the 2009 Detroit Auto Show, everybody understood it. Nobody debated it. And we knew we did the right thing.
Many of us, live a lifestyle where it is animal-free. We want to make sure that we can offer something to the customer.
And it's that honesty and integrity that I really pushed for, because it's not a marketing story. It's a belief. It's something that we live.
It is basically the sensuality meeting the accountability. And I think the automotive world needs something like this. When I start seeing the exterior of what Hendrik created the first time, I saw that the form, the tension, and the sheet metal he created is the dynamic of a running cheetah, which has a long arch at the front where the animal almost bends and then has the hip at the end, but also has certain edges in there which reminded me on sand dunes, and when the wind goes over it forms different type of shape.
Having those shoulders out there, that's something that says power, it says stance, it says stability. It's a car that looks like it's in motion, even when it's not in motion.
What was important for me too was really that every single line on the car had a purpose.
As bold as the design is, it also has a lot of restraint. You don't see these typical features that say power, like diffusers and spoilers and things.
The strongest element is the dramatic proportions. It's a very low car. The car is also very wide.
The fairly long hood, the low wide stance is a significant design for Fisker Automotive.
This crisscrossing lines with a diamond shape was so strong, I haven't seen that. That inspired me to integrate that into the interior development. The tunnel comes very high up, so you really feel sitting in the car how you wanted to sit, like in a sports car. And then the lines are flowing around you and just give you a hint of the form, what is going on in the outside. And then the rest approach was keeping it calm, keeping it pure.
When you look at the instrument panel, and you look at the door, and you look at the center console, and you look at the seat, the way we designed it is we opened up the natural markings so that you could feel what nature created, what nature designed. When you look at nature for these types of solutions, you understand that's really the definition of timeless beauty. The wood does not have a high gloss lacquer covering it. When you touch the wood, you can actually feel the texture of the wood.
Leather in an organic form with stitches, metal in a shape that it doesn't look like, you can do in plastic and then you just chrome it. How a welder would build a metal frame around a glass or a mirror.
It's an overall feeling when you get in the car that you know that there's something that feels handcrafted, delicately done, unique.
This car is probably the first car in many, many years that actually came on the street exactly for how it was supposed to be from the dream. And that's really the complete opposite of how we design cars today. Normally today, engineers make something that's fairly easy to make, and then the designers have to wrap it up.
We're never going to make a clumsy, awkward-looking car just to package an extra person or to get a bigger suitcase in.
And that's really a different way of designing a car. We've kind of gone back to designing vehicles how they originally were designed, create a beautiful vehicle, and then have the engineers work really, really hard to make it happen. I came across a technology that originally was developed for the US military. You could go about 40 or 50 miles in pure electric, and then after it had a range extender, go as far as you want. I thought, what if we would take that, make it into a usable drivetrain for a normal consumer that will buy a car?
When you reach The end of the battery charge, 50 miles, that's enough for most people during a normal day of driving. You can continue and you can drive another couple of 100 miles.
The engine automatically will come on at that point, and you can continue driving and you will not notice a drop off in overall performance.
The gasoline engine is only there as a range extender, so we don't have the gasoline engine connected to the wheels. It's only there to turn a generator to create electricity to power the electric motors. The advantage with driving an electric is really that you always have torque. Whenever you press the accelerator, you have instant acceleration.
So we've got more than enough power in there to deliver that to the 400 horsepower motors that we have in the rear of the vehicle. 0 to 60 in less than 6 seconds. Most people are driving between 30 to 60 miles a day. So in most cases, you're going to be able to operate all electric. You know, you come in, you plug in the vehicle at night, you wake up in the morning and you're back out. Now, if you forget to plug in the vehicle, of course you have the engine in there, so you don't have to worry about it. There's no range anxiety as you'd get in a normal electric vehicle. It appears that we're going to end up with a composite in there of around 67 miles per gallon, or about 84 grams per kilometer in overall CO2 emissions.
In Europe, there is actually a CO2 tax. So every car above a certain level has to pay CO2 tax. Even the toughest level they introduced in 2015, we are below. So you don't pay anything. You're saving the environment, at the same time you save money too.
It really comes back to the point that there is no sacrifice from a consumer point of view in terms of range. And range equals freedom. Once you start driving with a range extender and this type of power, instant power, you're not going to want to go back to a normal car. We have the battery in the center of the vehicle, so you're sitting beside the battery, not on top of the battery.
The chassis system was designed around it, so we're able to optimize the overall powertrain configuration.
And when you get to the rear passenger, you're sitting beside the battery and not on top of a gasoline tank.
Our tunnel is completely enclosed and the battery is installed from underneath. So structurally the car is safer than a normal car.
And we're using a specific type of chemistry now within the battery pack, which is one of the safer chemistries.
Even in the worst case scenario with an accident where the battery is maybe damaged, nothing can happen.
And having the freedom then to develop the powertrain such that it can be fit into this vehicle, yet the vehicle could still be stylish. And the whole performance of the vehicle was overall well balanced. So we've integrated a solar roof onto the vehicle, capable of 120 watts of input power.
Nobody had done a single compound curvature piece of glass as a solar roof before.
The solar panel, of course, can be used for a number of things. One of them is to ventilate the cabin, and we use this as part of our energy management strategy. We're able to reduce the amount of power that we're taking out of the battery pack for accessory power loads. In addition to that, we'll use the power of the solar roof to recharge the battery during parking events. In essence, helps extend the range of the vehicle.
The Karma has a very long wheelbase necessitated through the powertrain. So you cannot put small wheels on a vehicle like this. If you put small wheels on this vehicle, it just kills it. The car has to be supported by a wheel of a certain size, and 22 is what it had to be. And this is something we understand instinctively. The car comes right from the factory of 22-inch rims. It's just something we could not compromise on.